Hey friends, as some of you may know, I recently posted a video where I talked about taking this project that had been on the needles for years and frogging it. Yes, it was a cardigan that was supposed to be for my mother, and yes, I took it apart because it's blush pink. And obviously that yarn wasn't going to get knit up. It wasn't going to be appropriately cared for and loved and cherished. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna take the project apart. I'm gonna reknit it into something else that I know will be dyed and be for me so that I could get the yarn out of my stash. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to bust through my tremendous stash. However, when I posted that video about taking this project and frogging it, my big sis, my TikTok big sis, Lynn, check out her channel, by the way. She is goals. She is life goals. She asked a question about gauge swatches and about blocking. Now, moment of truth and confession. Sometimes I do videos early because I know I'm gonna be at my girlfriend's, and this is one of those situations. So I'm already past the gauge swatch stage. However, I did make a gauge swatch, and I actually did do a little video of that gauge swatch while I was at my girlfriend's house trying to figure stuff out. So I'll pop in a video right now of what the gauge swatch looked like. And the biggest thing when you are making a gauge swatch, at least to me, and I am, even though I'm not new to knitting, I'm very much new to actually doing a gauge swatch, but the biggest thing is making sure that you follow the instructions from the pattern for the gauge swatch. Now this pattern, which is this pattern by this designer, in this pattern, they specifically said which part of the chart to use. This particular pattern has bobbles in it, and so it says exactly which part of the chart to use. I notoriously go up about 2 needle sizes on most of my projects that are fingering weight because I tend to be a tight knitter. And so I almost never get exactly the same gauge in this scenario. My gauge was pretty spot on width-wise, but a little bit longer lengthwise, and I'm okay with that because I tend to like a little bit more positive ease anyway. So I'm still going to knit this to the size that the pattern says I should knit it to, with the understanding that it'll probably be a little bit longer than what they say, depending on how they write their pattern. Sometimes people will say do X amount of rows, and then other people will say knit until you get to this particular length, being centimeters or inches, which I do actually prefer because that way it helps you adjust for gauge. So Miss Lynn, I hope that you enjoyed getting like a little bit of background on my swatches, especially if you're changing the yarn, the recommended yarn from the pattern, if you're changing needle size. Any of those things should be a cue to you to, as much as I don't like to gauge swatch. Why can't I show you my gauge swatch? Because girl is cheap. I took that gauge swatch and unraveled it, and I'm gonna be using it in the sweater. I never keep my gauge swatches. I always unravel them and put them back in the project. And that's it. If you guys have more questions, feel free to ask me. I love answering your questions. Thank you, bye. And I'm back because I never talked about blocking. So I did listen to the entirety of that question, and yes, I will do something on blocking as well when the project is done. Okay, bye for real this time.